Happy Wednesday, my friends, and welcome back. As you know, we are still working with graphs. Now, this one's going to be a little bit different. They have put a bar graph here, so I have the number of art tools over on the side, the names of them, so I know I'm using these art tools. And then they put the number of children across the bottom. So this is a bar graph that just shows a solid bar that stops, so it's a little bit different, okay? And we could create a title that would go up here, whatever you think. So like we could put art supplies, or just, if we wanted to just be simple today, we could just write the word art. These are things that we use to create art. So as I was using and looking at these art tools, I have markers. If I come over here and look, I have all these squares. I could count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I come here where my line ends, and I would scroll all the way down, and I would see that I'm stopping at the 5. So the number I stopped at would be how many I had. Paintbrushes, again, I'm going to come all the way across and look. I stop here, and I'm going to slide all the way down, and I've noticed that I stop and I hit the number 6. So I have 6 paintbrushes. And then when I come up here and look for crayons, I'm going to slide over and I scroll down and I stopped at the number 2. So I have 2 crayons. It's easiest to remember, friends, if you go ahead and read your graph and find all your information first, so you don't have to keep going back and forth and trying to recount and confuse yourself. And now I have all my numbers already written on the side, which gives me a tool to look at and compare without trying to go back and forth and making a mess. Okay? So how many children chose paintbrush? So when I came over here, I looked and I have paintbrushes, and I already went over and I counted, and I had 6 children looking at the graph that chose paintbrushes. How many children chose to use a crown? Coming over here again, I scrolled over and I stopped at my 2. So I had 2 children choose a crown. How many more children chose a paintbrush than a crown? So now I need to see how many are left. So this is where I like to mark them off. So here I have these 2 are marked off. These match. So these kids are even. And it says how many more chose the paintbrush. So now I'm going to count the extra paintbrush kids. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I was doing that with an equation, it would be 6 minus 2 equals blank, and you would get your 4 because you had 6 kids that had the paintbrushes and 2 that had the crown, so you were subtracting to find the difference, and we wanted to know who had paintbrushes, who the extra paintbrushes were. Which art tool did the fewer children choose? Circle it. The paintbrush, the crown, or the marker. So when I looked at this, the smallest number right here, you can use your graph. It's simple. The smallest number colored is the crown. So that means my crown is the smallest number. And which art tool did the most children choose? Then so I come over here and I look at which bar goes the longest, the biggest bar. And I'll see that that was 6 with paintbrushes. This one completed the bar. So most kids chose paintbrushes. All right, friends. So you're going to be coming over here to your bar graph on page 427. Here is your favorite vehicle, number of children. Ooh, they switched it around you and stuck it going up. You could have a car, a truck, or a dump truck. And then you're going to answer these questions. And again, you're going to flip it over. And on page 428, you will do how your jackets are fastened, zippers or buttons. Answer that question here. And there's a question 13 and question 14. So here's your graph with these 3 questions. So remember, page 427, 428. Submit those to your teacher. Bye, my friends.